Hello, everybody. Everybody's doing well this day, February 7th. Beautiful day here in Florida again. Hope it is where everybody is, where you are, at least sunny. And if it's not warm enough, it's cold, stay inside if you can. This message I received yesterday. I actually received two. One last night, and then one middle of the night when I woke up. I was given one. So this is for my number 1245 from the 6th. Before the dawn of time, before the rhythm and rhyme, way back, majestic glory, which would be God's glory, sprang to life. Sprang to life long before chaos and strife existed in the universe. Pieced together a plan for all God would create that would befall. So pieced together a plan for all that God would create and all that would befall. So again, speaks of a plan shared with us, that Michael shared with us a month or so ago, a couple months ago. Piece together a plan for all God would create that would befall mankind's existence upon the earth up to its final rebirth. Diogenes spoke of what would come, how man's existence for certain some would bring about the folly of ages, distorted over again by foolish sages. So I wasn't sure what Diogenes, he was a Greek philosopher, what he spoke of. I looked up probably his most famous or top speeches or quotes, maybe about 50 of them or so, trying to define what would be talking about. He had some different things, but stood out to me that were important. And I'll share the ones I wrote down, and then the one I'll share what I felt he was being referred to in this, because it seems to me he spoke of what would come, how man's existence for certain some. I was getting like the wealthy and the powerful and those are seeking things of this world. How that would bring about the folly of ages, distorted over again by foolish sages. How man's existence for certain some would bring about the folly of ages, which might be the fallacy, the lies and deception that have been spread forth, distorted over again by foolish sages who thought they were spreading like some of the churches or false doctrines and so forth. So these may all pertain to this. I'm not sure. One was, we have complicated every simple gift of the gods. And he didn't believe in a god, he was ancient Greek, believed in gods. So we have complicated every simple gift of the gods, which we have. All God's gifts we've corrupted. Another one was, as houses well stored with provisions are likely to be full of mice, so the bodies of those that eat much are full of diseases. So as people's houses and homes that are well stored with provisions, with possessions, are likely to be full of mice or rodents or filth, so the bodies of those who eat much or eat much of this life or try to possess much of this life, they're also full of diseases or manner of corruption. Again, basically, the more you have, the more you corrupted you are, basically what it's saying. Which could fall into that. Another one was, if I lack awareness, in other words, if I'm not a believer, then why should I care what happens to me when I am dead? Which speaks of non-believers. Another one is, people who talk well but do nothing are like musical instruments. The sound is all they have to offer. So that refers to many, many people, even those evangelists and stuff like that. Another one is, no man is hurt but by himself. In other words, we're all responsible for our own actions, words, deeds, and what comes of it upon ourselves. It's our responsibility. So it's taking ownership and responsibility for what befalls you or part of what befalls you. But the one that stood out, what they're talking about in those lines is, virtue cannot dwell with wealth, neither in city or house. So again, you can't be virtuous of God and be wealthy, either in where you're living, the area, or in your home, or in your body. So that's what I think pertains to that. So better to be without than have all that stuff and be better to be without, be faithful and believe in God than to have all that stuff and not. Of course, a lot of them will say, "Well, I want to believe in God and have all that stuff too." Well, no, you can't. You can't. You literally can't. There's many out there that have a lot of wealth and possessions, or in between, the filters in different levels downward. Say, "Yeah, I believe in God." I believe in God, but they live as God wants them to live, or as how they want to live. Do they serve God? Do they follow God? Adhere to all His rules, His commandments, His tenets? No, they don't. They just fool themselves. Okay. Pick back up with the message. Captured in the words we speak, signals to those who are meek. So these words they speak, and these words and the other words, and hidden messages in the Bible, the signals or signs to those who are meek. As you humble yourself, the more humble you are, the meek, the more closer you are to God, the more open you are to understanding and receiving. Captured in the words we speak, signals to those who are meek in heart, who'd hear the meaning and be able to discern the gleaning. What I just spoke about. They're able to hear it and to understand what they're gleaning from the messages. Few in number remain to this day who are able to do this, as more and more are taken away. As they said, his servants, chosen and gifted, are being taken up in waves. As more and more are taken away unto the light from which they came, never once concerned for fortune or fame. It's for believers too, true believers, whose time is up. So you look at these, the mention in end times, they said that certain chosen gifted or certain servants of God would lead true believers to the mountains. He says to go to the mountains, to certain places guarded by angels, and be taken up into the light. So just think of how these disasters and catastrophes going on with these mass deaths. They all happen to be in the same place at the same time when their time was up. So that's kind of a precursor to how it's going to work. Never once concerned for fortune and fame. Again, they're not concerned about that stuff. That takes you from God. All these servants, is chosen, gifted, like me, or like me and many others, mildly, and humbly, quietly, going about their duty, more concerned with God's beauty that lay hidden deep inside, behind the walls where souls hide, behind the walls that we built inside ourselves. But more concerned about what's inside. What did he say? Kingdom of heaven is inside us all. So we're more concerned with that. And we're seeking to save who they can, all according to God's holy plan. Purpose to all they say and do, for which we're given a clearer view. So we're given a clearer view, as I am, continually, to serve the purpose. Do as you may, unbelievers, following the many deceivers, who ply their trade in chaos and disruption, sowing seeds all manner of corruption. So it says, do as you want, do as you may, you unbelievers, and the doubters, following the many deceivers that are out there who ply their trade in chaos and disruption, sowing seeds all manner of corruption. This goes for those of weak faith or insincere in their faith. By the advent of equine manifestation, equine, of course, is horse. So by the advent, or the revealing and made clear, visible to man, by that time of the equine manifestations, which is when all four horsemen have arrived. Remember, I said before last year that when all four here, then they'll all be manifested into the physical realm. That's what it's speaking of here. By the advent of this equine manifestation, the world will have reached maximum infestation of evil in body and spirit. Few realize how very near it they truly are, blind to the truth, clueless as to what's behind the veil of Ruth. Some people don't realize it, how prevalent it is. So at that time, it'll be the maximum infestation of darkness. Journey ends where it began for those among you, O man, who truly believed in what was said by he who arose from the dead. So the journey ends where it began, back with God, for those who are among you, O man, who truly believed what was said by Jesus, who rose from the dead. 3 was past, then arose. 3 days had passed by, then he arose. 3 was past, then arose, appeared only unto those who loved with all their hearts, and hence were given their parts, to play in the sowing of seed, before were given words to read. So, speaking of the apostles and their followers, sowing the seed before they were given the words, before the Bible was put together. Those of mine who were sent, again speaking as chosen servants, who walk life after life after life, those of mine who were sent so long ago from sacred tent, both in physical and spiritual form, gather now within the light. And these are the ones that have been taken up already, for a final battle against the night. Demons of darkness round every corner, they're everywhere. Mark of devil does adorn their foreheads, unseen to human eyes, for men believe all the lies. Turn thy eyes to gaze within, again, look within. See things as they've truly been. All I am I gave to thee, to wipe slate clean, set you free, to find thy way home once more, to where thy souls were before. So, pretty clear cut. Hope that gave understanding to you all. And you're free to look up the Diogenes' famous sayings. Maybe if you read that part, maybe you'll find something else that speaks better than the ones I found. But I understood it. My perception was, awareness was that he's speaking of those caught up in wealth and things of this world, and also the kind of the false doctrine that's been put forth by and corrupted and twisted teachings of God, basically corrupted and twisted by those seeking power or in power. So that's it for that. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day. Stay warm, safe, happy. Peace of Christ. God bless.